Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. My name is Jim Hacking, and this is episode, thank you, Hooli, thank you, episode 632 of the Immigration Answers Show. How is everybody doing? What is going on right now? Sorry for doing the show right before the game between England and the Netherlands. My buddy James is at the game in, I don't know where it is. Is it in the United States? I think, no, it's in Europe. The Copa Americana is in the United States. How's everybody doing? It's been a while since I've been with you. I think most of you probably know I'm still suffering from the lingering effects of COVID. I've had it for about a week, and I'm going to try my best not to cough on the mic. I say hi to everybody. I'm going to try to keep it pretty low key today and just take questions and answer them. I send you all my love and support. I hope everybody's doing better. Okay, so the game starts at the top of the hour. We'll get most of it done. You'll just miss a little bit of the first half, and then we can all watch it together. I guess I'll be rooting for the Netherlands. All right. Matthew's here. Hi, Matthew.
I was on mute. How you doing, Jim?
Great, buddy. How you doing?
Good. Glad you're feeling better.
Thanks.
Yeah, so just really quick update. I'll be as quick as possible. So I worked through a service called Rapid Visa to help me compile the CR1 spousal visa petition for my wife, who's a Mexican citizen.
Okay.
So they mailed that for us on May 7th, and then a few days later, they gave us a letter, USCIS did, and they just told us that they're processing our case, and then they gave us the online access to the account, and the case decision estimation date is about 16 months. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything I need to do to be ready for the next step. Pretty sure it's the interview. So I know I probably have to do evidence. Is there anything else besides just gathering evidence for that interview that I should be doing to prepare for that?
Spouses overseas or spouses in the United States?
She's in Mexico. I'm also in Mexico with her.
Got it. Okay. And how long has it been since you've lived in the United States?
About a year. I moved here around the end of July last year to marry her.
Okay. And then tell me about your taxes the last 3 years. Have you made enough to be the sole sponsor?
No, but my parents are going to be the co-sponsors.
Okay. So you said that you thought that the next stage was the interview, but there's a stage in between. So once USCIS approves the I-130, then it'll get sent to the State Department, the National Visa Center. So that's like a new round of processing. You'll have to submit updated marital evidence. You'll have to fill out electronic forms again. And then you'll have the two main things is you're going to have to do the affidavit of support. So I would start working to make sure my taxes are all clean, get the taxes from my co-sponsor. You're going to need an I-864 for you, and you're going to need an affidavit of support for them, who's ever sponsoring, co-sponsoring. And then there'll be other stuff she has to do too. You'll have to get a police certificate and stuff at that stage. So start to finish, I mean, Mexico is really slow. It's probably going to be a full 2 years, 2.5 years before she comes.
Okay, so just start working on getting the affidavit of support. Have my parents start working on filling out the details of that. Like I can do that. I can start doing that now.
Yeah, I mean, they might update the form between now and then, but just getting making sure everybody's taxes are clean for the last 3 years. If I'm you, I would come back to the United States at least once this year just to maintain your domicile so that they don't give you any trouble later about being in Mexico for so long. But other than that, that's it. It's finances, and then sort of stage two you deal with, after USCIS approves the I-130.
Okay, so I should go. I shouldn't be outside of the U.S. for like longer than a year without coming back.
I mean, it's not essential, but if you keep a bank account and you keep, they're going to ask themselves, why should we give Matthew's wife a green card if he's never here? So I think even just one trip home to see your parents for a week, that's all I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Just to break that up.
Okay. And then I should be gathering evidence, right? We should continue to compile as much evidence as we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you're together, that should be pretty easy.
Right. And I mean, I remember I downloaded a list of evidence from one of your YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember when I was working on getting the evidence together for the initial petition, they were like, if it was a document of any kind, it had to have both of our names on it.
Not
Um,
necessarily.
okay. So
I
as
mean,
long as like,
if you have something that shows you're living at address A and she's living at address A, that's good evidence. It doesn't have
right,
to have
okay.
both your names on it.
Because I mean, some of these things is like Netflix movie list of movies watched together, list of like love notes, cards, gifts, like stuff like that. I can just take. Would it just be pictures of that, or like a written list, or
Well, it'll all eventually become digital. So yeah, I think pictures is fine.
okay, okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure there's not like there doesn't have to be a super specific official way of gathering the evidence, so I don't like waste time.
No, you're fine. You're doing great.
Okay, well, I think that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much, Jim.
Thanks, Matthew. See you, buddy.
See ya.
All right, all right. Mohammed's up next. Mohammed, hello.
Hello, how are you, Jim?
I'm good, buddy.
My voice clear?
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead.
So, Jim, I'll try to be as quick as possible. I'm from Pakistan. My name is Muhammad, and my stepfather did our case in 2020, and I've made everything written on a paper so I can be quick. My I-130 was approved on November 2020, and our DQ was 24 October 2022. Our interview was on 3rd June 2024, and it resulted in a 221G refusal. Interview was a detailed interview. There was a first interview. The officer was a female, and it happened on the window, and there was a gap of 1 hour, and then the interview was in a special room for like 1.5 hour, 2 hours. The thing that happened is on the window, the interview was going well, but the divorce certificate in Pakistan is issued by UC Union Council, and birth certificate is also issued by UC. My mother had one prior marriage, and the petitioner, my mother have two prior marriages, and the petitioner, my stepfather, has one prior marriage. So everything was written in the DQ. On the DST 260, and everything was updated, and we had all our forms and paper. I don't know what to say. And on my mother's divorce certificate, second divorce certificate, there was an overwriting done by UC. So in Pakistan, usually this happens that if any mistake happens by the UC on the divorce certificate, so they write on the original divorce certificate rather than updating it and printing the new. So they wrote it on they manually did it on the original divorce certificate. This was the number one thing which the consular officer said to my mother, that this divorce certificate looks like it's forged or fake. And the second thing is that my birth certificate, my date of birth is 27 September 2004. The UC Union Council made a mistake when my birth certificate was issued back in 2008. So my mother also corrected it, and back then the UC did the same mistake. They updated it on the original birth certificate, like they manually wrote on it. So these are the two things which make consular officer doubt. And we gathered many evidence of the relationship, such as joint bank accounts and many of the things. So there were no doubts on the marriage, but there were these two doubts. So the consular officer keep asking my mother that are these certificates original and aren't these forged or fake. So my mother was like, everything is honest, and you can recheck those and you can verify. So she said, don't worry. And she make her set, and she gave a 221G refusal. And then after we sat there for 1.5 hour, 2 hours, then we were called, then my mother was called in a special room. The person there was a local Pakistani guy. He took all my civil documents, and he took my folder. In that folder there were my all educational documents, civil documents, each and everything. And he called my mother, and then he started interrogating again about the divorce certificate and the birth certificate. According to him, he was saying that this divorce certificate might seem like forged or fake, because there's overwriting done on it, and the same is the case with birth certificate. And that interrogation happened for like 1 hour or 1.5 hour, and
Okay. So what's
there
the
was
question? What's the question? I think I got the scenario. What's the question?
okay, okay. They gave us 2 to 1G refusal. Now the thing is that they said that the divorce certificate and the birth certificate might look forged. After that interview, we came to back to my city, Karachi, and we went to the UC. So the UC accepted their mistake and they said, yeah, it's a mistake. And after a lot of efforts and work, I issued the new birth certificate and the new divorce certificate. With the correct each and everything updated, and I also issued an
Wait, when you
affidavit
say,
and an
hold on.
yeah, yeah.
So the State Department said this looks like fraud. You said the UC said UC said they made mistakes. What's the difference between fraud and mistakes? What mistakes did the UC make? I don't understand.
The look, let me clear you again. The UC is, you can call it Nadra. It's a
No,
Nadra office basically.
I know what the office is. I'm just saying the U.S. government said these documents look forged. You're saying somebody made a mistake. What's the
Yeah, yeah,
mistake? I
yeah.
need.
Yes. So the thing is that uh, in older times the system in Pakistan was not that updated and it was not on like computer and everything. So the things were on paper and everything. The thing is that UC did a mistake. Many of the times they did mistake that they write the wrong dates on the marriage certificate, birth certificate, divorce certificate. So they did that on on my birth certificate and also on divorce certificate. So that was a UC's mistake before the case, before everything was happening, of going to USA. So we went to the
Okay, okay. Time out. Time out. I have a whole different question for you. You ready?
okay, okay.
When did your mother and your father get divorced?
When did my mother and my father get divorced? In
Uh-huh.
2005.
Okay. And when did your mom meet the person that she's married to now?
2020.
How did they meet?
They meet. It was an arranged marriage.
So he's a U.S. citizen of Pakistan descent.
Yeah, yeah. He's an US citizen with a Pakistani origin.
Okay. All right. So, and what's the deal with your father? Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
And what was the specific mistake on the divorce decree?
The divorce certificate is the mistake was that there's a thing in Pakistan like there's a let me see my divorce certificate. It is here. Divorce certificate. It will make you more clear. The thing written, date of notice of divorce 12 February 2017. So by mistake the UC wrote any other date which was not correct. Because so when I gave my original divorce decree to the UC office, they corrected it, but they corrected it on the, or they overwrote it and corrected it manually on the original certificate. They did this. This was their
Okay.
mistake.
Okay. So what's your question for me?
The question for you is that according to the consular officer, he said that this might
Oh, where'd he go? Mohammed, you there, buddy? Mohammed, hello. Hello, Mohammed. Oh.
think
Well,
fake.
there he
It
is.
was
There he is. Your mic shorted out for a minute. What's the question?
what
Your mic
my
went off.
question. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My question is that should I now send these documents to the embassy because they gave us 221G refusal, and they'll say when we were going, he said, "Don't worry, it's like part of our process. If there's not your mistake, we'll re-verify it and we'll." Tell you what's the decision. So should I send these new issued certificates to them and an explanation letter that it was a mistake done by UC, or should I wait for their answer, or what?
I think I would. I mean, here's the problem. You've now given them documents that make them doubt your truthfulness. So it would have been much better if you had cleaned up the documents before you submitted them. Now you've got a big problem because they're not going to believe the divorce. They're not going to believe. I think you probably need more than just an updated form. I think you need a real good explanation as to what mistakes the UC made. So I think this is tough. I don't know if they're going to give you visas at all.
I've made the UC write the explanation letter. Can I read it out to you? There are four
No,
things.
that's okay. No, that's okay. So you have an explanation from UC saying it was our fault.
Yeah, exactly. And they've like
No, that's
pasted
good.
it.
I would submit all that stuff and see what happens.
So yeah, that's my question basically. I was just making you clear all the background. That's my question. Should I submit it in CEAC portal or should I wait? Because my lawyer has said that you should wait. The embassy will contact you, and many people have said to me that you should submit these documents and then
I
you
think
should see.
it's a close call. It doesn't matter either way. I would listen. If you have a lawyer, you should listen to your lawyer.
Okay, so this means that I should leave it on embassy that when they will contact, so I'll get back to them.
All right, great. Thanks, Mohammed. Good luck, buddy. Let us know how it goes.
Okay, okay, okay.
Bye, buddy. All right. I got Sam and then Dr. Pern after that, and then Mehdi and Rex. All right, Sam, what you got? Hello, Sam. Can't hear you. Sam, are you there? We can't hear you, Sam. All right, we'll ditch Sam for now. We'll go to Dr. Pern. Hello, doctor.
Hey, how you doing there, Jim?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Got a real quick. I'm trying to do the very the easier way. I've been on work permit in Nairobi, Kenya, since 2019. It expires in September of 2025. I met my wife now. We got married 2023. Well, I met her before that. We've been staying together since 2022. We
Okay.
married in 2023, September. We had a child in 2023 in November. That
Okay.
CRBA is coming up next week, finally.
Okay, great.
So my question is, um, we're just now starting the process. I'm in Nairobi, Kenya, and I've been
Right.
hearing what you've been talking about. It's a process. Because
And
we have
people are
to
really
wait for
mad. People are really mad at the consulate in Nairobi. It's really slow.
Yeah, and it's like we had to wait for documentation from the government, the authentication documents, and it's just too much going on. So we finally got everything together. So my question is, we're just now starting the process of I-130. What is the procedure? What do you recommend? Because we're just now starting the process of the I-130. Because I didn't want to start it until we had all the documentation together.
How long have you been outside the United States?
I've been outside since I went back in 21, like my mother was sick, and then I went back in 22 when she passed away for the burial. So I stayed for a couple of weeks there.
But generally, how long
but I
have you been
also
living
maintained
abroad?
Since 2018.
So you
But I've
have
been
you have
going back.
you have a regular address? Are you paying U.S. taxes?
Yes, I am, and I also purchased a home in Texas. So I haven't even been to it yet, but I purchased a home.
So is that the address? Is that the
but I
address you're going to use? That's the address you're going to use for your I-130?
That is correct.
And when you say
I'm also
you're reluctant, when you say you're reluctant to file until you have all your documents together, what do you mean by that? Like, what documents? All you really need is the marriage certificate and proof of the relationship. Don't be a perfectionist. Get that shit on file.
Yeah, because I was too scared to just start the process, and all of a sudden it goes through real quick, and I didn't have everything needed from the
I'm gonna go through real quick. You don't need to worry about that.
Okay, so that was one. Number two, I'm a disabled vet, rated 100%, totally disabled.
Yes, sir.
But we also have a business in the U.S. also, so I do file my taxes every year.
Good.
I was hearing you say something last on one of the shows indicating that about the use of my funds from the VA. Can I still utilize that?
Is it included in your adjusted gross income?
No, I actually that's separate. That's
what
a
was
separate
your
amount.
what was your adjusted gross income last year?
I think it was around 32K, 32,000.
So that's really, really close. You'll probably need a co-sponsor.
Oh, okay, and that's not hard. I have family members who
Yeah,
doesn't mind it.
Yeah, you just need one of them. That's stage 2,
And then-
though. Like I said, that's stage 2. Get that shit on file. Get that I-130 on file. Got to get this process moving.
Okay, and one quick question. It asks something. It says, what does it mean when they ask for proof? Must proof. Let me see. It asks the beneficiary to have information in the native written language. I wanted. What does that mean?
I don't know what you're talking about.
On the form, it said, what does it mean, or what proof must my wife provide when it asks for the beneficiary to have information in the native written language?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because that's on the I-130.
I think probably what they're saying is anything that's in the native written language has to be translated into English. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the U.S. government's never going to require you to give them original language stuff. They don't even want that. I mean, you have to submit it, but you need to submit the translation.
And could you also provide in the link, or I can ask you to for the information of that attorney you were talking about that's representing people here? Because I guess I heard somebody.
He didn't do it.
Oh.
And that wouldn't apply to you anyway, because you got to get the I-130 on file. Nothing starts until that bad boy's on file.
Okay, so it's just a waiting game.
But
Nairobi Kenya.
The game doesn't start until you start the game. So start the game. Thank you, doctor. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye, buddy. See ya. All right, I'm going to go to Medi and Rex, then CK Grant, then Vibe. All right. What up, Medi and Rex?
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Don't know
What's
if you
up?
heard us, but I want to just quickly gush at how appreciative we are of you, of these calls you do, of your
Absolutely.
team.
Yep.
We've had 3 contracts with your team, and they have been excellent, wonderful. We could not be happier. 4 years ago, we were sitting here on a call in Morocco, and now we're together and here and happy. But there's a glitch.
That's awesome.
There's
Yeah,
a glitch, so we have a question. So on the actual adjustment of status document,
Green card, yeah.
the green card paperwork, we put, because he wanted to take my last name, so he put Medi Lloyd, my last name, probably shouldn't say my last name, but anyway, he put my last name on there and submitted it, and that's how they issued his green card. Back home, he has his original name, and it didn't dawn on him until now that his passport is not going to match his green card, and he can't really show them the marriage certificate with 2 men.
Recognized. It's not recognized.
And so we're not sure what to do, but everyone, of course, back in Morocco was kind of freaking out, thinking that if he goes home, he's going to be arrested or detained or never be able to leave. I'm curious
because of the discrepancy between the passport and the green card.
Yeah, and we're wondering if we should go to the local state court or county court here and change his name legally just to my last name, because on our marriage certificate, supposedly in our state, you can change your name when you're married, but they didn't they insisted that he put his original name and my original name on the marriage license, which is how it shows. So the question is, do you agree it's a big issue? What are your thoughts on it? And do you think the best, rather than redoing the paperwork and waiting 2 years and paying another $500 for a new green card, would it be better to just change his name here locally and then have that proof to show them?
But how does it get him into Morocco?
No, the issue is not getting in. The issue is getting out. Because of course, the more the market authorities at the airport, like, they actually they do give a big scrutiny, like if there's any discrepancies between your paperwork. And since my last time on the green card, it's different than my passport. They want to know why. They want to see proof of why you changed your name.
So
Exit.
we're thinking if we were flying there, we could show it to the people at the airport, the marriage certificate, to go with the green card and the passport, and they would go, "Oh, okay, everything's good here."
But the issue is, since
The issue is coming back,
yeah,
where they wouldn't recognize our marriage.
Is this a fiance case or a spouse case?
it's a fiance case that turned into it's a fiance case, very much.
So when you showed up where Rex lives, they said you had to they said you had to hyphenate your last name.
No, nobody said anything.
Nobody said anything.
Nobody told us we had to do anything. He just went and put on the form because he kind of wanted my last name. So
So I always tell everybody, don't mess with your last name until you become a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they didn't really tell us any advice on.
Yeah, like the paralegal or the lawyer. Nobody when we submitted it said, this, are you sure you want to do this?
Okay.
Nobody on your team said, is this something, this is going to cause you problems. It's only now that it's all done and the green card literally came in the mail that we're like, oh, dang.
Well, I think what I would do is I would file an I-90 to get a green card with just your last name on it. That's what I would do. I would say, I need my green card. We made a mistake. We need the I-90 to get a replacement green card with just my last name. Or don't go back to Morocco to become a U.S. citizen.
Because my passport would end next year, and I have to come back to renew my passport.
Yeah, well, if you wait till you're a U.S. citizen, then you'll.
But still. I cannot travel anywhere if my passport is expired.
So you would actually pay the $500 and replace the green card. Now, when we do that, it wants us to submit paperwork proving the name change. Well, the name was actually never changed. We have no paperwork showing. Have no paperwork showing that his original last name is his original last name.
I would just say that there was an error made, and we want a green card with just my last name on it. I keep it really high level.
Okay.
And I would assume that the process and the waiting time would be also a pain in the ass. Like, what do you?
It'll be a year. It'll be a year.
It'll be a year. Okay.
Yeah. So don't send in the green card till the end. Send a copy of the green card. Keep the one you got.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thanks for your help.
Thanks, guys. All right. See ya.
See you.
Bye, guys. All right. I got CK, then Vibev, and then Priyanka. CK, what's up?
Hi, Jim. Would you mind taking me off camera, please?
All set. All set.
Thank you so much. So this is my follow-up call to you. So I basically have all the red flags that there are. Can you hear me okay, Jim?
Yeah, you said you have all the red flags that there are. That's quite a statement. It's quite a statement. Oh, I think she's locked.
Different than my fiance had already.
CK, sorry. CK, you froze for a minute. Can you start over?
Okay, so the red flags are I'm married to my Jamaican spouse. He had overstayed. There's a 15-year age gap with us. I hadn't been married before. Did a K-1 visa, but it didn't work out, so I kind of didn't go through that process. And then I had submitted for another K-1, but I withdrew it because I realized the relationship wasn't going to work out. So yeah, I've got multiple, whatever, the age gap, and my current spouse overstayed. So my question is, like you said, yes, they're definitely now scheduled. It says we've been scheduled for an interview, and I believe you suggested it is going to be a Stokes. So my question is, will they tell you on the notice if it is going to be a Stokes, or how will that go? And typically, so it's been a week about since we've received the email saying the interview's been scheduled, but we've not received the notice. How long does that take? And typically, how long afterwards do they schedule the interview? Because I don't want to be sitting here waiting on a notice that, you know, and it doesn't tell me in the online account. It doesn't show a copy of the notice, so that
Which
I could.
which field office will do your interview?
It's probably Dallas because we're in Texas, Dallas,
Yeah.
Texas.
I would say 9 times out of 10, when you have a Stokes interview, the notice doesn't say that you're going to have a Stokes interview. The only time it usually says it is if the officer is generating the interview notice by hand as opposed to the regular system, right? So usually they don't tell you. Every now and then I'll
Okay.
see, it's pretty rare that you'll see them say that it's a Stokes interview. As far as Dallas, Dallas is a pretty busy place. So I would say that if you get an electronic alert that you're going to have an interview, that you'll probably get the actual interview notice in about 3 weeks, and you'll have the interview probably 4 weeks after that, maybe 2 to 4 weeks after that.
Okay.
So I would say start prepping.
Yes, we have. And would you be able to, I know you've done a couple of links, but I can't seem to find your list of documents that we should, because yeah, I've been uploading my documents. And so if you could
Well, I'd stop. I
download.
would stop. I would stop download. I would stop. If I know I'm going to have an interview, I don't upload any more documents because I want to bring those to the
Okay.
interview. I want to drop something on their desk. So stop uploading stuff,
Okay.
and start preparing to bring a nice package of marital evidence to the interview.
Okay.
Let me ask you this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how ready do you feel you are to talk about the fact that your husband was out of status? Do you know his whole immigration history by heart? Because you need to.
Yeah, I'm trying to access his what you call that, freedom of information. Trying to get
No.
his history.
I'm talking about
Oh,
my
me. Oh,
I'm talking about my husband has told me the story. I know his whole story. He's been completely upfront with me. I know everything from the day he got here to whatever immigration benefit he ever applied to whatever work he was doing without authorization. I know his story better than he does. That's what I'm talking about. Because you're the star witness. You're the star witness. If you
okay.
go in there and you're like, yeah, I don't really know. I know he overstayed. And I mean, one time I had an officer ask the U.S. citizen, do you know why we're here? Do you know why we're here? And, I had her ready. She was able to explain, yeah, I'm here because my husband's out of status. We're a real marriage and we're trying to get him into status. That's why we're here. So you're the star witness. You got to be ready.
Okay. Okay.
They
Yes,
presume
I will
they
be.
presume that he's going to be able to explain his whole history, but they're going to come at him and you with knives. They're going to think he married you just to get a green card. Being out of status is number 1 on the fraud list. Have I shown you guys the fraud list lately? I should go over that here pretty soon. Maybe on our next show on Friday, I'll go over the fraud list.
Yes,
But
please.
being out of status, 15-year age gap. What country is he from?
Jamaica.
Yeah, so they're all over Jamaica. It's not going to be a fun interview, I don't think.
I know. And so that brings me to my other question for you. Do you think we'll need to bring an attorney? And typically, can we get an attorney just for that interview date and
Yes, I think you should bring an
approximately?
attorney. I think there's lots of reasons to bring an attorney to a Stokes interview. Number 1, they can take good notes, and sometimes the officers like to make shit up about what happened. And if the lawyers take good notes, they can refute that. We've had that happen with Tim Rudolph, a great attorney in our office, a couple times. And number 2, you're not in there when your spouse is speaking, and they're not in there when you're speaking. So having the attorney be in both interviews, when it's done, you have a quick analysis as to what you got right and what you got wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the third thing is the lawyer really defends you. So yes, lawyers, including our firm, will take over cases and just go to the interview. What I think you should do is hire us to get you and your partner ready and to get you prepared for the interview and to go to the interview with you.
Yeah, I sent you an email, but I haven't gotten a response yet, so I guess I'll follow
could
up
you send it?
again.
Hold on, Huli, do we have her in the system? CK, could you send it one more time? If you send it today to info at, I'll make sure they follow up.
So info at, okay.
Hacking immigration law. Yep.
Okay, I'll do that. Thanks so much,
All right.
Jim. Appreciate
Bye,
it.
CK. See ya. All right. So this is the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm a very sick immigration lawyer getting on the road to recovery. Does my voice sound different? I feel like it sounds different. I don't know. I've been coughing so much. Last night was the first night I had a good night's sleep. We were in Colorado for my daughter Noor's softball national tournament. Crazy shit happened. The parents on our team were fighting with each other and the coach. That was sort of crazy. Two players left, so we were down to 9, and we got knocked down into the bronze bracket, which is like the third bracket. But then they won out. They won the whole thing. They won the bronze bracket, so that was sort of fun. But I had to leave on Friday. I didn't want to get on a plane with COVID, so I rented a car and drove all the way back. Yeah, I got to watch on Game Changer. That's right, Rocio. Rocio knows what's what. I'm really glad that Hurricane Beryl spared our good friend Donna. I hope everybody in Houston and everybody in the Gulf are okay. And a big shout out to all the Yardies. Vibehev, hello. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Jim. How are you?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Just hanging in there. So I am filing for VAWA I-360, and I was wanting to expedite the VAWA petition on the basis of risk of homelessness, and I don't have an income or a job to support myself, and my spouse has abandoned, as she defines, like she's not responsible for me anymore, as we are no longer. I don't want to be with her anymore, and she has been cheating.
Did you already file a case or no?
So I haven't sent in my I-360 yet.
So was there ever an I-130 on file or no?
So yes, she did send in I-130, but she sent in the forms like right before April 1st, and then she sent in the I-130 with the old fees, and they were rejected on that.
Okay. All right. So it's just a standalone I-360 with no prior. Okay. All right. So what's the question?
So will I be able to expedite my I-360 petition on the base of, abandonment and risk of homelessness?
I always find it interesting when people ask me if they can expedite something that they haven't filed. Okay. So step 1 is get it on file. Step 2 is most 95% of expedite requests are rejected. So don't count on that.
Okay. Then second question is on part 8 of I-485, question number 25, where they ask, have you ever been arrested, cited, or anything else? So I said yes, because I was cited for traffic violations, 2 traffic violations. So I said yes. Do I need any waivers for that?
No, you don't. No, there's no waivers you need. No.
Okay. And then I had a police report when I had called cops on my wife because she was kicking me out of the house and to protect myself. And there were certain other conditions that she has put on me. But the police report that I requested from the police, it's incorrect. They've put incorrect information on it, and then they made me leave the house. How can I get that police report corrected? Or I was also requesting for the 911 audio and then the body cam footage. Will that help?
Will that help? Let me ask you this question. When you married this person, were you in status or out of status?
I was out of status.
What visa did you have originally?
F1.
When did you stop going to school?
2022.
How long did you go to school?
Since 2017 to 2022.
Why did you fall out of status?
My father died in COVID, and I couldn't continue my education on financial reasons, and I
I'm
became
sorry to hear
homeless
that.
after that. I became homeless after that.
Okay. And then you married this person. She never
I
filed a successful application for you, and then she
no,
became abusive.
she was very abusive since the beginning. Like, I was upfront and honest about all my situation, like everything. I told her about everything, and she made big promises, during the dating. And during the dating, she was also very supportive too, and she did do a lot of things for me. But then once we moved in, that's when like things really started to, get abusive and manipulative. And that is like, and it multiple times I have told my wife that, like, please stop doing this, and this is hurting me. And in December, she had like confessed to me that like she was doing all this abuse, intentionally. And because I sat down with her and I asked, like, why do you do this to me? And I kept getting sick. I got sick 4 times and during that time, and I said, why do you do this? And then she intentionally confessed to me that I do it because I've had bad past relationships. And I said, I'm not the past, I'm like your current husband. And
Okay. So did you record that conversation?
I did not.
Okay. All right. So what's the question for me?
The other thing was also my family had sent her money for adjusting my status for the filing fee. She never used those, and she for the immigration, because she requested for a fee waiver. And and now she's like, I'm in, like, she filed a divorce, and then she has filed for like she has put wrong accusations on me, the petition for divorce and all that stuff.
Sure.
And so can I send like the previously filed I-130 and I-864 as a proof that, for my I-360? And will the I-864 that she had previously signed bind her under the
I don't think
contract
so.
for support? No?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
All right, boy. Good luck, bud. Hope that all works out. His thing was sort of janky. The connection was janky. All right, you got Priyanka, Nancy, and Valentino. Priyanka, hello.
Hello, Jim. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
What a nice smile you have. Thanks for giving me
Oh,
your smile. How you
yeah,
doing?
doing great actually. I got my green card approved on 30th of June, and my green card has been produced yesterday, and hopefully I'm going to get my 2-year conditional green card end of this week or next week probably. So, and also I have one more good news that I got a job in Michigan in a pharmaceutical company where I have to start from 5th of August. So my first question is, my job require to travel to Sweden for a week because of some trainings, and that is so this pharmaceutical company is basically based out of United States, and I got offer letter from United States employer. So I have to go to Sweden for as a training for 1 week. So can I go to Sweden with my 2-year conditional green card? Is it recommended?
Yeah, that should be fine. The only thing is, so what was your status before you got your conditional green card?
Employment authorization. I came to United States in December 2023 as K1 visa.
Oh, okay.
And
well, and so you'll be traveling without your spouse?
Yes.
I would just say, make sure that you bring proof of the reason for your trip and the proof of employment, all that stuff. The one thing I would say is that there's this weird thing USCIS does. I don't think they'll do it in your case, but when people were out of status for a long time, then they get married and get a marriage-based green card, and then they travel without that spouse. I think USCIS, or I think CBP specifically, likes to cause trouble and try to see if you were going back to see your real boyfriend or girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you're going to have that problem at all. So I think you're fine. Just make sure you bring the documentation.
Yes. So that's the reason why I was also asking my husband to accompany me and take a PDO off and come to Sweden.
But it's okay. It's okay if he doesn't.
Yeah. Yes. So there is another question here. This is a major one. Actually, we are currently living in Alabama, and I got a job in Michigan that I have to start in 5th of August. So I don't think it is an ideal thing to basically my husband work here in Alabama and me in Michigan, because that is going to create troubles with USCIS. Is it correct?
Excuse me. So is it a temporary assignment? Is it the next 2 years? What are you talking about?
I got a job. It's a permanent job until I give them a notice period. So
what's his story?
He's also having a very good job here in Alabama, and he's getting like over 90K here in Alabama. And the thing is, he's fighting in his office like he has to go remote, but the management is saying like he cannot go remote with this position. So we are in a sense of dilemma whether he has to quit his job and move with me to Michigan, or whether we can take two different places, and we are in this whole circumstance of discussions. So I need your advice regarding that.
Great question. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. We can deal with whatever. Live your life, make your money, keep your good jobs. Don't give up a good job because you'd be separated. When this will come up, obviously, are a couple things. Number one is you'll have to update your address with USCIS when you've moved for 10 days. Okay. And then this will come up when you file your 751, and this will come up when you file for naturalization. Okay.
Oh, even to go to Sweden, I have to update USCIS.
No, not Sweden. No, just when you move to
okay.
Michigan. When you move to Michigan.
Okay.
So the question when a couple is living apart is there's three questions. Number one, do we have a legitimate reason? I think you do, that we can document. You're making good cash in Michigan. He's making good cash in Alabama. Number two, what efforts do we make to see each other regularly? So if you fly, you keep those tickets. If you drive, you keep gas receipts. If he comes, you go on trips together, you make sure that you document everything that you do to see each other as much as possible. If you're talking on FaceTime at night, snap a picture each time, just keep track. You're going to have to prove it up 2 years from now. Okay. And then the third one is, what's the long-term plan? Like, hopefully at some point in the next 2 years, you guys find a way to live together, making money in the same town. So, and if you guys have jobs that are sort of specialized, like there's no way in hell he could do his job in Michigan, and there's no way in hell you could do your job in Alabama. That's one thing. But like one time I had this guy live apart from his spouse, and I said, well, what do you do? And he goes, I'm an Uber driver. I go, hey, bro, you can be an Uber driver anywhere. So that ain't going to fly. So it's got to make sense. So, I would say try to limit it as much as possible. Try to document as much as you can. And then whatever the long-term plan is, hopefully that by the time you file for the 751, you're back living together. The third thing is that when it comes to citizenship, it used to be if you're married together and your marriage is 3 years old, you can apply for citizenship. But now the Biden team says you have to be living together as spouses in the same house for the full 3 years. So that will affect your ability to apply under the 3-year rule.
So, okay, I have another question, because currently my husband is thinking about quitting his job and move to Michigan with me. And he has a lot of opportunities. He works in an aerospace company, and he has a lot of opportunities in Michigan. So is it okay that I can support him as a beneficiary in this case, in this sort of circumstance? Is it okay?
Wait, Priyanka, you should be an immigration lawyer. You asked lots of good questions. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
That is fine, right? Okay, so I can support my husband too. Okay, because he might. The question is, his company is not allowing him to go to remote job, but he would like to go, and he's finding his way. So that's why I called you. Yeah.
Got it.
Thank you so much for your help, Jim. So hopefully, he's going to get a remote position, or we can move to Michigan, because I also got a very good opportunity in Michigan.
Awesome. Thanks, Priyanka.
Yeah. Thank you. Have
See
a
ya.
nice day. Yeah,
okay, you too. Bye-bye. All right, Nancy's up next. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
fine, thank you. So I have a question. I'm a U.S. citizen and I'm planning to petition my dad, but I'm not working at this moment. So my husband, he's going to be the household member sponsor. But he was a sponsor for my two cousins last year and also my mom about 5 years ago.
He's
And
like
we're a
he's
family.
like he's like the 24-hour sponsor.
Yeah, kind of like that.
It's like his part-time job.
Yeah. So that makes a total of 8 people, plus my dad will be 9.
Wow.
So and looking at the poverty guidelines, what we did last year, it was like 72. And if we add my dad, I think the limit or the requirement is 72 and 200 and something. So he does like for $200 maybe we don't make it.
I doubt that. I usually just add 5,500 for each person, but I haven't checked up. I've never known someone to sponsor that many people. So you might be right.
Okay, so my question is, do we just start this with him as the household member, even though by the guidelines he doesn't make it like for 200s from last year, or do I wait? Because my mom, she's gonna next Thursday she's gonna apply for she has the interview for the citizenship, so she won't be on that list. It'll be one person, one dependent, one less dependent.
I would wait for sure.
Okay, what if she doesn't pass the test?
Oh,
Do I need to get someone else, or do I just send it with him?
I mean, I'm frankly amazed he's been able to sponsor that many people at all. So maybe he's a lucky kind of guy. I would wait and see what happens with mom. If she's able to get off the list, that would be good. Otherwise, I would start thinking about a different co-sponsor. Yep.
Okay, so what? So we're not included as the. I mean, he didn't sponsor us as immigration. I'm a U.S. citizen now. We only have my two cousins and my mom, and with my dad will be 4. You think still is a lot of people to sponsor? Is that a number?
But then there's kids, I guess. You have kids; those are
Yes,
dependents.
yes,
Yeah, I gotcha.
yes.
Okay, no, that's not a lot. No, I thought you were saying there were 8 total, but I get
No,
it. Some of them are just kids. I gotcha.
yes,
No, I
3.
think
We
that's
have
okay.
3.
Yeah,
So
wait
you
and see what
think?
happens let's see what happens with mom. Try him again and see what happens.
Okay, so if my mom doesn't pass the test, you think we should try with him, just with him, with my husband, and it shouldn't be a problem?
I would spend the next week getting mom ready for the test. That's what I would do.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying. Okay, I think that was my main question. If because I don't want to wait on my dad doing this application, but if my mom doesn't pass the test, I don't know if I
This
need
is
to get someone else.
your dad's in the United States?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good luck, Nancy. Let us know how it goes.
Okay. Thank you.
See ya. Okay, bye. Valentino's been waiting. Hello, Valentino.
Hey, thank you for doing this.
Sure,
I
buddy.
watched some of your videos and it's very helpful.
Great.
And my situation is I'm an European citizen. I don't have a spouse. I don't have a job in the US. I don't have anything, but I have interest in coming and working in the US. And honestly, I was considering the H-1B visa, but I'm not sure how long it takes and what are the requirements to get it. But
How
it's
old are
either
you?
that
How
I'm
old are you?
23 years old. I'm just finishing my master degree, and yeah, I'm a
And you're
student.
doing your master's degree in Europe?
Yes, in Italy.
I think it's going to be very, very hard to get an employer to want to sponsor you for an H-1B. There's a lottery. It's really expensive, and they don't know you. So to think that what I would do is I would get a master's degree in the United States, become as a student, and then you can get what's called optional practical training. Are you in a STEM field or no?
What's that? Sorry, I'm not sure.
Science, technology, engineering, or math. Or what's your field
In
of study?
I'm studying business, marketing, and sales.
Okay, so you'll get 1 year. So if you come over here, if you get a degree in a STEM field, you could get 3 years to work while they try to get you an H-1B. Otherwise, you get 1 year because it's just marketing. It's not a science degree.
Okay.
But I think you're gonna have a much better chance making connections with U.S. employers as an international student than you would. And you could come first to study English, and that gets you in school here, and then you could try to start, towards a degree that gets you OPT that lets you work and meet employers.
Yes, but no, I understand this. But if I come to study, I'm not able to work, right?
That's right. You can work 20 hours a week on campus.
On campus. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your answer. And
Bye, Valentino. See you, buddy.
Yep.
All right, let's go to Rish. Hello, Rish. Oh, there's a side character. Hello, Rish.
Hey, sorry, someone was talking next to me. Hi, Jim. How
That's
are you
okay.
doing?
Good, buddy. How you
So
doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. So my question is, I have a pending I-751, and next month I'll be eligible to apply for N-400. But starting of this year, I had a happening. Like I got into an altercation with my wife, and she ended up calling cops on me. It was a very minor thing, but she didn't realize that it's gonna become that serious, and they arrested me. I was there in the jail for 1 day, but then the charges were dropped. Like everything was removed from the case, and I also got my case expunged. So my question is this something that's gonna affect me for my N-400 application?
Well, you're gonna have to list it as an arrest.
Right. Yep.
You're applying on the 3-year rule.
Yes, 3 year.
Yeah. So I have a video out there. You can look for it on the YouTube channel, and it basically says if there's been any kind of problems, certainly any kind of domestic violence, and you want to apply on the 3-year rule, you should really think about applying under the 5-year rule because an officer can spend a lot more time studying the marriage if you apply on the 3-year rule than they would if you waited the full 5 years. I would
Right.
most likely suggest waiting the 5 years.
Yeah, I was a bit confused about it because I was reading a lot about it, and some people said like because they weren't proven guilty, like it's not gonna be an issue. But somewhere I was reading like it's
Hey,
something
Rish,
that's
Rish, Rish,
Yep.
let's pause the interview. Let's pause the interview for a minute. Can you bring your wife in here real quick? Oh, okay. Hello, Mrs. Rish. How are you? Mrs. Rish, tell me about the time that you called the cops on your husband. Why'd you call the cops on your husband? Was he beating you? Did you get in a fight? I mean, do you
No.
want to be talking about that under oath in front of an officer?
Yeah, I mean she's willing to talk about it because
Yeah, but do you want to be talking about it under oath in front of an officer? The
no.
answer is no. You don't want to be talking about it in front of an officer. So even if she's completely backed down, I mean, you understand that government officials believe that most wives who drop their domestic violence charges are scared, and the reason they dropped it is because they're scared, not because they made shit up. You understand that?
Right.
So I don't care what it says on the internet. My suggestion is if there's been any kind of domestic violence charge, even if it's all cleaned up and expunged, it's still an
Mhm.
arrest. It's still an interaction with law enforcement. There's still a police report they can ask for. That you're better off waiting the full 5 years to apply for citizenship.
So you mean 5 years from the time of the arrest, or 5 years from the time I became a permanent
Ooh,
resident?
that's even a better question. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty extreme. I would say just wait the full 5 years.
Right.
I mean, unless you think things are perfect with the marriage and your spouse is going to be able to explain exactly what happened, and they're going to believe them, then maybe. But I mean, I don't think most regular people can pull that off.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was a very stupid thing. It's there on the police report as well. Like she threw a crock at me, I threw it back. It hit her on her hand, and she ended up calling the cops. And that's literally what's mentioned on the
Yeah.
police report as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's up to
Yeah.
you. Good luck,
All right.
Rish.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
See you, buddy. All right, everybody. We did it. Sick as I am, we did it. Oh my God, there's 345 people watching. All right. can we all just say how much we love Donna and how glad we are that everyone in Jamaica is doing okay? I hope. Oh, Donna says Rich sent me an update. Okay, I'll check it out, Donna. Tomorrow, we're shooting for a show at 4 tomorrow. It's my recording day for my other podcast. I'll try to do a show at 4 tomorrow. I might not have a voice left, but we're going to shoot for 4 o'clock tomorrow, okay? Otherwise, we'll do a show on Friday. And then softball got canceled for the weekend, so I'll probably do shows over the weekend, okay, everybody? England and Netherlands 1-1, Rich says. Oh, that's the update. Thank you, Rich. You know, I was thinking Lewis will probably be mad at me for rooting for Netherlands. So maybe I should root for England. I don't know. I do like Tottenham. I'm sure they got some players playing for them. I got to see what Hima's doing. I bet he's watching. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Sorry if I'm a little bit loopy. I am off medicine, but I'll be back tomorrow. See you guys. Thanks for helping me.
I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease